and welcome to a very special episode of what I think is Media Club, where, sorry, I don't remember, what I think is Media Club, where we have brought together our resident Chiefs fan, our two Swifties, and Jordan and Alec to suffer through gushing about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce because they are America's royal couple. I'm going to say this to Chris now because he forgot to do it last time. Do you want to show off your little controller holder thingy that's Travis?
Yes, I do, actually. I do. Thank you for reminding me.
He texted me about this. We mentioned it briefly in a podcast
This is
months ago.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that. Your controller, my
That
lord.
is amazing.
He's got a good head for a bobblehead.
Yeah.
I might have unplugged
Go
my
ahead.
headphones when I stood up, so I heard none of that. But I hope y'all enjoyed it.
While Chris gets reattached, we have on the podcast this week CaitRose to also talk about how much we love Taylor Swift. It's been a great year to be a Taylor Swift fan. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Truly.
We've been suffering since 2017, and now we just have unfettered access to her again, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yes. As the kids say, she is feeding us, you know?
Yes.
It's been a lot. Like, I can't even fully comprehend how much has happened since she announced Midnight's last October, I think. Or no,
Yeah.
it was even before that. I don't know. It's been a wild ride. There's a lot going on. And it seems to never stop. And I kind of hope it doesn't. I know it will someday, but right now we're thriving. I mean, I have my own theories about that. Not that I can theorize the future of someone's life, but like, you know.
I even just mean with music is I am absolutely delusional and one of those people who thinks once she finishes releasing all of her Taylor's versions that she's going to drop a new album. I feel like she has it, or we're getting Karma, or we are getting the secret album.
I don't know if we're getting actual, like, I don't know if it's going to be called Karma. I don't know if I'm riding that theory train, but I fully believe that she is writing new music, like, right now.
Yeah. And I'm excited for it because
100%.
Reputation was the last album we got while she was falling in love, and that was to a crusty man. And now we have it to somebody who thinks she's a genius, and I'm so excited. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into Taylor Swift, and then I'll talk about it and we'll go into this year?
Sure. So I'm about a year and a half younger than Taylor, so I kind of feel like our timelines of growing up have kind of intersected a little bit, which I think helped me relate to her music so much. When I first became a fan of hers when You Belong With Me came out, and I was a junior and senior in high school when that song was huge, and because that was the big like high school song, it just like it fit really well, and it was, you know, so that was fun. And then but growing up, I was one of those people that was like, oh, like I hate country music. Like country music is annoying and cliche and dumb and whatever. So then when Speak Now came out, like I liked some of the singles, but like, you know, she was still very much like a country star. And I was like, oh, well, like I don't want to listen to a country singer, you know? So I was kind of like a closeted fan at that point. And it wasn't until 1989 came out when she made the switch to pop music, and, you know, and Shake It Off came out, and, you know, obviously people had various reactions to that song, but basically the gist of it being like she was so free and didn't really give a shit about anything. I was like, you know what? This is my time. I also do not give a shit anymore, and I'm older, and I don't care if people are going to judge me for being a Taylor Swift fan, because at that time it was still cool to hate on people for liking Taylor Swift. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. Whatever. I'm done. I like this song. I'm excited for her. Like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I made a Tumblr. I like, you know, tried to get her to interact with me on Tumblr. Never got my Tumblr notice. It's okay, but I still had a lot of fun. I like started to make friends. Like there are people that I have been following on the internet in the Taylor fandom for over 10 years at this point. Like it's crazy. Like considering she has such a big fan base, like for me, when I think of the fan base, it's rather small, like in regards to like how big fan bases usually are, because like I see similar faces everywhere all the time. So like it still feels close knit, and I think for a lot of us who have been fans for 10 years or longer, like it does feel like a close knit community. And so with the Eras tour becoming popular and Midnight's becoming a popular album, like seeing everything expand has been noticeable. And seeing like, you know, trendy TikTok girls like making it a cool thing to go to the show feels strange, considering that they look like the same girls that made fun of us for liking Taylor Swift like 6+ years ago. It's been a weird kind of phenomenon, honestly. So that's like a little bit of my Taylor Swift fandom journey.
Mine is similar. Yeah, I listened I listened to like Fearless, obviously, because I was like 15 when that came out. So I was like the target demo for like I remember listening to the song 15 for the first time. But yeah, it was not cool to like Taylor Swift. And I will admit this because Taylor was also a little bit of this when she was younger. I was kind of a pick me when I was like 14, 15. I did not know
Who
that you do
wasn't,
not need valid.
honestly?
Aren't we
Yeah,
all?
exactly. Like, you know, at that age, you do not realize that you don't need validation from men. And yeah, guys I hung out with were like, oh, Taylor Swift. And then Red came out right after my first major breakup. And then I was like kind of in. Like we were in for a while. And I was like a casual fan. And then when The Man came out as one of the singles from Lover, or like with the Lover release, I remember listening to that track and being like, this is absolutely why I don't talk about how much I fucking love Taylor Swift, is because men make fun of me and it makes me feel bad. And after that, I was just
We're
like,
not the best.
We suck.
kind of. Like, I hate to tell you. And Jordan, I feel specifically for you because she is part of the reason that no woman trusts J names. Is all of her J name boyfriends have been the worst.
So rough out here, guys.
And you were doing so well because she was with Joe Alwyn for 6 years and that just got shit on. So
like every time I think, oh, maybe J names get a pass, like no, it's like another 7 years of bad. Is this because I didn't fucking forward a chainmail when I was 15 and Taylor
100%,
Swift's
absolutely.
albums were dropping? Like
you
fuck
ignored
this,
some
man.
email and you're fucked for the rest of your life, dude.
You didn't repost that MySpace bulletin.
I'm gonna put a silent P
Absolutely,
in front of my name, like
absolutely.
pterodactyl. Put Jordan Deeb.
good.
Or just get rid of the J.
Ord indeed.
Ordon.
Also, with everything with Taylor re-recording her music, I truly have no choice but to be the biggest fan of that on the planet because I love watching men fail on massive scales. Watching Scooter Braun's $3 million or $300 million investment in her music become worthless is. I'm so glad to be alive during it.
You could call it karma.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, did you see that Mariska Hargitay got a cat and named it Karma?
Excellent.
Yeah, Mariska Hargitay, who, for Jordan, Chris, and Alec, context, Taylor Swift has 3 cats. She has a cat named Olivia Benson after Mariska Hargitay's character in Law & Order SVU. She has Meredith Grey, named after Meredith Grey from Grey's Anatomy. And then she has Benjamin. I don't know what Benjamin's named after.
It's fun.
Benjamin Button? Like the movie Benjamin Button, because he was a kitten, but she thought he looked like an old man.
Okay. Yeah. So those are her cats. And Mariska Hargitay was in during the Katy Perry Taylor Swift chaos. Mariska Hargitay was in the Bad Blood music video as part of Taylor's like squad. And yesterday, Mariska Hargitay she posted that she got a kitten and named it Karma after the Taylor Swift song. Yeah.
Good.
She posted a picture of the kitten just with the caption like "Karma is a cat sitting in my lap," and I was like losing my fucking mind.
Now, when is Taylor Swift going to be on SVU?
She's been on SVU, I think.
Perfect.
Like back in the day. Yeah, I think it was like Fearless era.
Yeah, she like
made
curly
a cameo. Hair. They made her this like goth character though, right? Like didn't she have like
was she the criminal?
Like a black
was she the big bad?
No.
I think she she gets murdered, or like she knows like her friend was like something happened.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
The only
Um,
But,
television Taylor cameo I think I've ever seen was her bit in New Girl, uh,
oh.
interrupting
a
the
reference
wedding.
to my
Yeah.
least favorite song of hers. I played Speak Now for Jordan for the first time when Speak Now Taylor's version came out, and I was like, I played him the whole album, and I was like, listen, this one is weird. It's all about her convincing a guy to leave somebody at the altar. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Mid-wedding too. It's not like she like sneaks him out behind the church and is like, "Listen, it's gonna be embarrassing, but like you ditch her, we leave." No, it's like in the middle, like,
It is
"Ma'am,
the
this is a
speak now or
Wendy's."
forever hold your peace moment. And she gets
Yeah.
up to, and what I love is in the song, she does have the lyric where it's like horrified looks from everyone in the room. And it's like, yeah, bitch, this is awful. Sit down. But,
Yeah, it was the songs like that made me not want to admit that I was a Taylor Swift fan. Like I kind of just like overlooked it. And I was like, she's young and like she's storytelling and whatever. Like I don't like, and I explain this to people, like just because she's my favorite artist doesn't mean that I love and defend everything that she does. Like
yeah,
I try not to be negative, but I mean like I could think of right now at least 3 things that like I wasn't super happy when she said or did things, but it's like we're human and like no one is perfect for everyone and everyone makes mistakes and
especially those early
whatever.
albums, just because it's like you were a child, like full on
Oh,
just
yeah.
a child. So like that when the lyric, the original lyric in Better Than
In
Revenge, when it's like she's better known for the things she does on the
Oh,
mattress. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, at 18, I would have said that shit too, because at 18, I did believe that another girl could steal your boyfriend. I'm in my
Mhm.
20s now and don't believe that anymore, but like, it's fine.
Exactly. Yep.
Um, and she's just so smart. She's just so smart. This is
Mhm.
gonna turn into an hour of me just gushing about how much I love this blonde woman.
Or you
So
just
if
have
I
a
Uh,
phone call.
so if I may, I do have a bit
yeah, go ahead,
of
Chris.
a backstory with Swift here as well, and it does also require a little bit of a backstory from me. Which was I grew up listening to a lot of like punk and hardcore music, pop punk, that sort of thing, like real
Mm.
angsty, screaming at authority kind of stuff. And when I was about 20 years old, um, I started to delve outside of my usual taste. I was just starting to get into like pop music, which I'd spent similar to country, and I also did this with country, where I was like, it's stupid, it's vapid, it's boring, I hate it, like all of that sort of thing. And I was playing drums for this church, and went back when I was a good little Christian boy, and those days are long gone. Uh,
I'm sorry. I shit on country music and pop because I was so into punk. Anyways, I was playing drums at my
I was
church.
playing, yeah, I did used to play worship music.
Yeah, like
Um,
as you're walking to church, your dad's like, "Take those headphones down." Your headphones are blasting like anti-authority music, but you're going to the biggest authority of them all. You're going,
I just
Rage
to the
Against,
big
I'm
we
walking
G.
to
don't
church listening to Rage Against the Machine.
I did do that. We don't have to talk about this right now. That's a whole nother episode. Let me tell you. Uh, but yeah, I was playing drums for this church, and I was really close with all the other musicians there, and they were like, hey, you should try listening to different things, kind of get different styles. That'll help improve you and that sort of thing. And so these were all also dudes that were playing in like metal and punk bands and stuff outside of like doing the church and stuff. And I remember coming home one day, and one of my roommate, another one of the drummers for this church, was listening to like Justin Timberlake, and I was like, really, you? And he goes, yeah, no, check this out. It was the 2020. I started listening to it, and I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get this. And so I distinctly remember when Red came out. All my friends were like, you got to check this out. Like, this shit's really really good. And I listened to it, and I went, oh, I get it. Like it's like it clicked. That's still one of my favorite records, because that was just kind of the point where I was like, oh wait, I don't actually hate any of this. Um, and so I've listened to all of her stuff that's come out since then. Like, big release happens. Like, I'm here, I'm listening. My sister is a big Swiftie, so sometimes it's forced on me. But like, I'm there. What I'm excited about tonight though is that's kind of it's always been like surface level for me. It's like new music comes out, I listen to it, I go cool, and then I go listen to other stuff again. Uh, but with Taylor getting with Travis Kelce of a team that I am extremely invested in, having been born and raised in Kansas City. suddenly I had like just more exposure to the Swifties basically, and it was one of those things that I always kind of just wrote off as like weirdly parasocial, like kind of like not for me. And then meeting a bunch of them and talking to people and seeing the way that they embrace like football and Travis and Kansas City and all these other things, I was like, wait, the Swifties are really cool. I was like, I always thought they were weirdos, but these guys are awesome. And so now I'm here, I'm invested. I want to get more into it. Like I'm ready. I'm ready to take the next step down.
So Kate can disagree with me. I feel like there are varying levels of, like, not varying levels, different types of Swifties where like we all love the music, but then there's something else about her that is why we're like insane. And for me, I love the Zodiac Killer puzzle she releases. Her releasing images on Spotify billboards all over the world and me sitting on a live stream watching people collect all of these little images off of random Instagram stories, random billboards to put together that Taylor Swift top global artist art piece. I spend like 2 hours doing that. And I love it when we have the 1989 vault track like puzzle. Like
I
it's
mean,
just very fun
it's
to me.
crazy some of the stuff. The guy,
Mhm.
because I remember my sister showing me, like she's like, I got to go pick up Midnight's on CD. I was like, CD, and she goes, yeah, because if you get there's like all these variants. If you get them all, it does like the clock and everything. I was like, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Like I also remember like her whole fight with I don't remember who the fight was with, but essentially like her campaign against like Spotify to properly like pay the artist for streams and
She
that sort
took
of
her
thing.
music off
That got a
Spotify.
yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
And I got a lot of respect for her after that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like people don't do that. Some people don't have the ability to, but like I think she recognized that she's like, I'm in a position where I can make these changes, and I always thought that was really rad.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a whole element of her of like the shit she has done for the music industry is like she has fundamentally changed the music industry. Like she was one of the first people to be like, Spotify doesn't fucking pay me enough for
Yeah.
how many streams they get of my music. She pulled all of her shit off of Spotify until they agreed to pay her more. Um, no one had ever really considered re-recording their masters, or
Yeah.
they couldn't because they didn't write all their own music, so they didn't own all of it. She did and made a $3 million investment null and void. And like, don't listen to the stolen versions. If I can impart anyone with any information on Taylor Swift, unless there isn't a Taylor's version, don't listen to any of the stolen versions. We don't give money to Scooter Brown in this house. um, but yeah, it's just like she is really in touch like with her fans. Like when Kate mentioned the Tumblr, that really was a thing where like, and
Mhm.
on Twitter, like Taylor King was like a thing because she would just be like going through fans' Twitter and liking things. And like she still does this shit, but after Reputation and Kanye West, um, and that mess, she kind of like really went out of the spotlight. And we're just now like getting her back and in a big way. And like coming back to Travis Kelce, I feel like part of the reason so many people love their relationship is we've been watching her date assholes for 10 years. And I'm not shaming her for who she dated. She dated like a totally normal 20 something year old. But we've gotten to watch her get trashed by all of these men. And now Travis Kelce is like, nah, she's great. I love how famous I love it. Like, and it's just like, ah, men
Him
doing the bare
wa-
minimum.
him wanting to give her his number with a friendship bracelet is like that level of riz I have no choice but to respect. And it's like teach me because like that's fucking genius.
Kelsey's got it, dude. Travis is a smooth guy when he's not
Dude,
tweeting
I
about the
heard that I was
squirrels.
like, fuck man, I want to date him now. Like
Well,
like
the other
that's just so good.
and the other thing that gets me with that is it's now come out that after that all happened, he said it on New Heights, all that shit. She texted him and basically was like, "You are so lucky that I'm texting you, and here's why." But, and I just really love that.
I need that.
Like,
Need that.
oh my god, it's so great. And he brought the Taylor Swift prayer candle. which
Wait,
is
I didn't hear
also
about
like,
this.
oh, that jacket she's wearing at the very first Chiefs game she went to, that like
Mhm,
vintage looking one, is a vintage Chiefs jacket. He bought it
mhm.
in a vintage shop in Kansas City that also happened to sell celebrity prayer candles, including a Taylor Swift one. And so when he bought her the jacket, he bought a Taylor Swift prayer candle.
That's so funny.
And
Oh
I
my
really
God.
like to believe that the night before that game, he just sat and meditated with the prayer candle lit.
That is one of those moves though that it's like in a different light. That's like that does sound like some serial killer shit.
Yeah,
If
I
they're
think
like, I have a prayer candle with you on it.
Context makes is the real
It's the
winner
key.
there. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
and like I don't I don't think Travis Kelce would ever murder anybody.
Nah,
He seems too soft.
he's
Yeah,
too
but you
nice
know,
for
a
that.
few
You know,
concussions can change that.
yeah,
Jordan.
the CTE sets in.
Am I wrong?
No, on the most recent podcast, Jason asked him a question. He went, I don't know. I don't remember. I get hit in the head for a living.
Oh my God.
It's a hard
Oh
job,
my
man. It's a hard job.
I don't know. I don't really know what he does. If you want to speak about
Travis?
Travis Kelce a little bit, I would love that
Yeah,
because
what
he's just
position is he?
appeared. He's a tight end. I know that.
tight end. Yeah, I can't forget that term. I don't know what it means, but
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but it I'm gonna sound like a 12-year-old boy. It in my brain, whenever I hear tight end, I just think like tight booty. And like
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah.
know tight end is used in a lot
yeah.
of like euphemisms around football. I just don't know what it does in actual football.
I think he is important to the quarterback throwing
So
too.
I can't explain what the tight end does. Although, yeah, just in terms of what the name is, the two the Chiefs have had a great history of getting like some of the best tight ends in the NFL. Back in the late '90s, early 2000s, considered to be like the greatest until Travis came. We had Tony Gonzalez, who my mother loved and always referred to as the tightest end in the NFL. So
I'm just
that is
saying.
a
And
thing.
like Travis Kelce's got a nice ass too.
He's not a he's a looker. But basically, what the tight end position is it's a hybrid position that combines essentially being an offensive lineman and a receiver. So the idea is that they're sort of flexible within the plays. The way that you the way that you deploy them is you either have them on the line as a blocker or out open to receive like passes. Um, and be it because there's so many options there, their utility is that they're hard to plan against. And
Gotcha.
as far as like the significance of Travis himself, I think it's unquestionable at this point, just in terms of like who he is. He is the greatest tight end in the NFL ever. He's the greatest of all time.
Agreed.
Thanks,
No,
Alec.
it's like I don't say that because I'm biased. Like statistically, he is the best tight end to have ever played the game. Like he is on top of the world in his position. He's
All
very
I know
very
is
good
Pat
to the point
Mahomes
where like Pat
throws
Mahomes to
fast.
Travis Kelce is considered like a fucking cheat code. You know, like it's unreal. Like the relationship there, the way they basically like share the same brain. Like they're so hard to play against.
I think you mean Mahomes and Maato.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all
I
just
do
know
really
if
like
y'all
the
have seen
commercial.
that commercial, the Mahomes Auto thing. Travis in that thing, he's holding the jersey where Patrick changed his name to Auto. He's like, why did it have to be Auto? He's like, why couldn't it be Kelce? How much you can save by bundling home and auto instead? Pat's like, I don't think that
It's
would
a
fit on
State
the
Farm
jersey.
commercial.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so, but I don't know if you've seen this though. Patrick posted a photo from his locker room in Arrowhead, and on Pat's like name tag above his locker, it says Kelce, how much you can save by bundling home and auto. Like
Oh my
that's his
god.
locker room name tag,
Good.
and he's got a little bobblehead of Travis Kelce on top of it as well. They love
Um,
each other. It's beautiful.
they
Good
do.
for them.
I love watching them be in love. It's cute. Learning about Pat Mahomes has been fascinating because he's just like tangentially related to a pop star I really like, and so it's just like I've learned a lot about him and Britney lately.
I was just saying, yeah,
Um,
like Brittany and Taylor are like besties now,
it's
so like
adorable.
they're
They
just
went
around
out
each other a lot.
And, like, can you imagine being Brittany Mahomes and just being like, "Yeah, I'm going out because you're playing in New York. I'm going out to dinner tonight with Selena Gomez, Gigi Hadid, and Sophie Turner. See you later, Pat. Sorry you got curfew." Like,
Later, Patrick. Have fun training.
yeah. Oh yeah, Blake Lively's here. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just gotta be. I have to like as a kid. Is it wild as a Kansas City Chief to just like watch? Like, there be a game where it's like fucking Hugh Jackman, Anthony from Queer Eye, Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift, and Sabrina Carpenter just like
It
chilling
is
in a box.
it is kind of crazy to get sort of that level of attention on it. There are a few stars that are from Kansas City that like regularly attend games. Jason
Paul Rudd
Sudeikis
is
and
one of
Paul
them.
Rudd. Yeah.
Aw.
And so they're at games a lot. You also have I'm so sad that I'm so bad with names. What's the name of the guy who played the Fonz?
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
Thank you. Yeah, Henry Winkler is a big Kansas City fan as well, and so like those guys all appear at games a ton, and like they're there. But I mean, it's never been to the level of Blake Lively and Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, like all of these people like attending because Taylor's also at the game. Like it's crazy.
And all the Deadpool 3 rumors that are coming out because of that like picture
Oh
of
my
them.
Because
God.
Ryan and Hugh are at that one game. Like,
I love it. This is what Taylor Swift does, though, is it just introduces what is this clue? What are we being told here? Like what's coming?
As a Spider-Man fan, it just seems like in Taylor's world, it's always No Way Home era, where it's like every detail counts.
Yeah. No, straight up. Like what's wild is sometimes and when I say we, I mean like thousands of people fully convinced ourselves we were getting Reputation Taylor's version this month. And like had real reasons that we believed we were getting it. And like we're so ready for it and nothing. Like it's always the chaos of like, yeah, like leading up to Avengers Endgame, No Way Home. Like it always you're kind of in front of a conspiracy board. Like
it's just kind of like living in that gif of Charlie Day in Always Sunny when he was trying to figure out where the mail comes from. Like,
Yeah.
and what's funny is like she knows. Like she knows
Now-
what we're doing.
Do you think she toys with you guys and is like, oh man, they guessed it right, and now I'm gonna change it last minute?
No, I mean Kate, you can answer this first before I go into it. But
LeighErin, do you remember when Me, the single, came out and she was like, if you watch the music video, there's an Easter egg for what the title of my new album is called. See if you can figure it out. And there were a few different theories, but in the music video, I think at least twice, there's a giant neon sign that says Lover. And people were posting about it. They were like, ooh, what if it's called Lover? Like, that makes sense. It looks really pink and cute. And then the next day she was like, no one's guessed it. And then she announces it's Lover. And we were like, are we being gaslit right now? Like, what are you talking about? We couldn't figure it out. It was right there. And it was just like the silliest thing. I was like, there's no way. She was like, no one guessed it.
To be
She was,
fair, that
she was
actually is
absolutely
exactly
poking the bear. She's like, come
Oh
on.
yeah, 100%.
that is exactly what happened with Avengers Endgame, where they were like, it's Avengers 4. You're like, oh, it's gonna be Endgame, right? Because Doctor Strange says this. They were like, no. And then trailer goes, yeah.
They're like, no, you're wrong.
There is that. It's a pretty popular clip now. I think she was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and I can't remember exactly the context of what she was talking about, but she says like how she's talking about like her how crazy her Easter eggs on, and she how crazy her Easter eggs are, and she says like, can I hint at something 3 years in advance? And she says that, and then like exactly 3 years later, like some fans put it together. Of course, like something was announced, like something happened, and they were like, "Yeah, she does that. She plans things
That's
far
crazy.
in advance."
oh, it's nuts. And like, because similar to the Me music video, which the Me music video also just is so chaotic to watch. There's just
It's a
Brendan
journey.
Urie's got it's a fever dream of just like Brendan Urie's got a puppet. They're singing. It's a really insane music video. I'll be honest, we were all shocked that she played Me as a surprise song because for some reason, even though Cruel Summer was right there, Me is what the record label released as the single. I don't know why they did that over Cruel Summer because that song is so fucking. But
And that is another thing again where I say I don't agree with everything that Taylor does. Her like 90% of the time, her choices for the singles that she releases boggles my mind. I'm like, why are you so focused on this song when this list of songs exists? Like what are you doing?
I thought
Like,
I was
I
gonna
don't know, like
hate
singles
Reputation because of this.
yeah, no, look what you made me do is like watching the music video for it is iconic, and that is like pretty much the only or when she performs it live, those are like the two situations where I like thoroughly enjoy the song. But like it is like my one skip on Reputation. Like it would be a near perfect album if it was not for that. Just because it's like it's like and it's kind of like the pick me girl song. It's like this is all my shit that's happened to me, and this is like the one that's like has the most repetitive chorus, so it's gonna get stuck in people's heads, and then people are gonna buy it like that. It's like it's the one that makes sense that the label would like convince her, like help convince her to put as a single. It's like I get it. I just feel like at this point, it's like you are Taylor Swift. Like she released 12 seconds of Static and it went number 1 on iTunes that one time. You remember that? Like people are going to buy
I did not hear about that, but that doesn't surprise me.
I think it was 1989 era.
Yeah, it was
like a week before something that 1989 was supposed to come out. Like somehow randomly this like segment of Static somehow got released on her iTunes page and people were like, "Oh my god, new Taylor Swift," and like it went number 1.
It went huge, and it was just kind of like
And were
somebody
people
at
trying to like
iTunes fucked
decipher
up.
the static like they were fucking NASA astronauts getting radio waves from
Probably.
space?
There were probably some, yeah. Like it's yeah. And it's just like with her singles, it's always crazy because whenever you name what the single was, it's like, oh, that was the single off the track, and it's or off the album. And so like when Midnight's came out last year, and she was like, this was the one where I was like, the single is what I want it to be. It's like, yeah, bitch, thank God, because every single your label is sure. It's wild to me that you can look at Lover and Reputation are the two worst offenders to me because it's wild to me that you can look at an album like Reputation that has Ready for It, Getaway Car, Dress, Delicate, Gorgeous, like all these amazing songs, and you're like, nah, look what you made me do is gonna be the single we drop. And then yeah, Lover has so many good songs that are iconic now, but we dropped Me because Brendan Urie.
I would not be surprised if for Reputation Taylor's version she did a Getaway Car music video, because that was one of the things she has talked about on talk shows before, where she was like, I hear you guys like you'll yell at me online for like you should have made this a single or did a music video for that, and she knows how much people love Getaway Car.
They got to use that footage
she would be
of
crazy
her and
not to do
Travis
that.
after that first Chiefs game, like actually driving around Kansas City in his convertible. Yeah.
Oh my god, imagine it's like that exact car, like that was an Easter egg, like
just can you imagine Taylor calling Travis, be like, hey, listen, we can leave, but you have to drive this car.
You have to drive this convertible, please.
It's all connected.
And he would be so on board, like 100%.
That's his car,
also,
yeah.
Chris, do you know who Getaway Car is about?
No.
Supposedly. Tom Hiddleston.
Oh.
Yeah, that's supposedly about
Tom.
them meeting at yeah.
He's a cutie.
I don't know about
just
you.
hated their couple name.
Hiddle Swift, yeah.
I really hated Hiddle Swift. It really bothered me.
I didn't focus on that.
Really sounds like the 5th Lost Hogwarts house. Hiddle Swift.
No, but yeah, that song is about him. I'm very excited for. I have a feeling Tom Hiddleston will be fine when Reputation Taylor's version comes out. I don't think anybody can get roasted the way Harry did.
Ooh, I cannot even begin to comprehend and fathom what the Reputation Vault songs will be like.
Yeah, so for context for you guys, the Reputation album has songs about her falling in love with Joe Alwyn, has songs about the Kanye, Kim Kardashian, Snake Day chaos, songs about Tom Hiddleston, songs that aren't about Calvin Harris because her writing a song about him called I Forgot That You Existed is accurate to all of us. We all forget that Calvin Harris and her dated.
Yep.
And so there's not a song about him, but the whole album she's kind of talking about cheating on him with Tom Hiddleston. And so like it's just about so much and is so like not angry, but like aggressive. I'm so excited for those wall tracks because
It might be why that's
forever.
my favorite record, just because like coming from like a punk hardcore background, like that is the most like pissed off Taylor record I think that out there. Like I dig that energy.
Yeah. And it's, you know, Speak Now, Taylor's version came out and it was like Joe Jonas had a rough couple of weeks. Unfortunately, he continues to have a rough couple of weeks because of what he's doing in his divorce. But that's not Taylor Swift's fault.
That's his own making.
Yeah, Taylor Swift had nothing to do with that.
That's a different thing, yeah.
Red came out. Red, Taylor's version came out. We all kind of hated Jake Gyllenhaal already. We had heard the original version of All Too Well. You know, he was a 29-year-old man dating a 20-year-old. What the fuck do you idiots have in common? Cool. Speak Now comes out. Her only boyfriends on that track are Taylor Lautner, and then there are probably going to be some songs about John Mayer, but she was like in love with him when she wrote Speak Now, so half of the songs are complimentary. I will never get over Greg Miller's favorite song being Ours, because I fucking hate Ours because of who it's about. And I need Greg to hate it too.
I refuse to think about it because I love Ours just for like my own reasons. And it's like how Taylor says like at the Eras tour when she's like, I've written these songs about my life, but after tonight, I want them to be about you and the moments we've experienced. I put that mask on when I listen to Ours because I'm like, I refuse to believe that she wrote this about one of the scummiest men on the planet. Like,
That's
I
so
can't.
funny.
Bad person. And it's just where I always lose it is with Ours is and any comments from my dad about your tattoos will be ignored is always where I'm like, this because you were a fucking 32-year-old man with tattoos and Scott did not want you dating his daughter. Like, the fuck out of here. Scott did not want you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so like we all kind of knew they were crusty. Taylor Lautner was fine. But 1989 for a very long time, we're like, all right, she talks about Harry Styles, but it's not anything like groundbreaking. It's just kind of like we had a kind of toxic relationship. You suck at commitment. And then
because like the original songs on 1989, like it kind of makes it out to be like, sure, like maybe he messed up, but she made it sound very mutual.
Yeah.
Like you broke up with me and then maybe we got back together and then I broke up with you and then we maybe get back together and like we don't really know what we want and you know we're both busy being pop stars and whatever.
Yeah.
So like we didn't really know. And then before the Vault songs came out, then like, you know, we've had these few public moments of seeing her and Harry Styles together, like at the Grammys and the American Music Awards, or I think it was. And I think and then that had people convinced, like, what if we get Taylor's version featuring Harry Styles? Like, oh my God. And instead we get no Harry Styles features and then like one of her greatest diss songs of all time.
Oh my God. Every single Vault track is about Harry Styles. And whoa, does it have a different energy than the rest of the album. And because I was absolutely one of those people that after they talked at the Grammys, I was fully convinced that part of what they talked about was her opening the door for them to do Style featuring Harry Styles.
Yeah.
And then the Vault track dropped.
Madness.
Yeah. There were no features. I was convinced we were getting a Glitch Deluxe drop and that would have the features. And then I listened to the Vault tracks and I went, Harry Styles. Harry Styles wants to pretend this doesn't exist. And so yeah, I feel like we're all just gonna pile on Joe Alwyn when Reputation Taylor's version came out because Jack Antonoff went, I hate this motherfucker and I want all of you to hate him too.
I cannot believe what has happened in the last couple days.
Okay,
I can't.
so for context for you guys, it's
Yes.
crazy. So Taylor released Midnights, and
Mhm.
then it released at midnight, like all albums release. And then at 3 a.m.
There's the
with
3
no
a.m. one,
warning,
right?
she dropped
Yeah.
the 3 a.m. edition. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
The
then
West Coast edition.
yeah, that
Oh yeah,
has
that was midnight for me. I was like, I'm up all night. This is perfect.
same. I didn't realize that the
It was
3
3
a.m.
a.m. for
edition
me.
wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best part about living on the West Coast is because the albums drop at 9, which means I can
Oh
get
yeah.
high on my patio and listen to the new Taylor Swift music and then go to bed.
No,
But
yeah, I woke
yeah,
up to like 12 messages from my sister being like, there's another one. She made another one.
well, it's also all of the songs that were on the 3 a.m. edition are really good. Like they're
Oh yeah.
really I'm biased to what it could have should have for a couple of different reasons, but I truly believe that's one of the best songs she's ever written. Great War is great. Like all the tracks on the 3 a.m. edition are so good. And
Mhm.
that was it. We had Midnights and the Midnights 3 a.m. edition for months. And then she's on the Eras tour, and it starts coming out on Twitter that she is selling a Till Dawn edition of Midnights at the
Mhm.
concert, CD only, that has a track on it called You're Losing Me, that is labeled as From the Vault, and
From
none
the
of us have
vault.
ever heard before. You could buy it digital for 24 hours. And if you didn't buy it in that time, it was gone. You could not get it. It was not on streaming. It was either the CDs that night or you bought it on digital.
Wow.
Obviously, people uploaded it onto YouTube, so we all heard it. And it's the
Yeah.
saddest song she's ever written.
An important note, this was a couple months after her breakup with Joe Alwyn was released.
Yeah. So we all thought that this was like her way of being like, yeah, all of the rumors about us breaking up are true. We've broken up. Here's kind of a song about it. Let's move on. And we all, for better or worse, assumed it had been written recently or like kind of during Midnights, not, whenever. And the song is so sad because I'm just going to read you guys the bridge. But the bridge for it is how long could we be a sad song till we were too far gone to bring back to life? I gave you all my best me's, my endless empathy, and all I did was bleed as I tried to be your bravest soldier. Fighting in only our armies, front lines, don't you ignore me. I'm the best thing at this party. And I wouldn't marry me either, a pathological people pleaser who only wanted you to see her. They had been together for 6 years when this got released, and everybody lost their goddamn minds. And then, instead of giving us Reputation Taylor's version this week, she gave us You're Losing Me on streaming as an early birthday present. And Jack Antonoff, who writes like all of her music, he also was in Fun. He's in the band The Bleachers. He decides to go on his Instagram and post a picture of Taylor Swift in a grandma sweater, drinking
Eating
Gaslighter,
raisins.
eating raisins, drinking Gaslighter Rosé, which is the Chicks Rosé line, and puts across it, I took this something like I took this picture we wrote and recorded You're Losing Me on December 5th, 2021, which was a
Ooh.
long ass fucking time ago.
It was like nearly a full year before Midnights was even announced.
Yeah. So then when you listen to other songs on Midnights, like The Great War, which is all about like a couple getting through something really bad, but they're good and they have each other now, and songs like Labyrinth, where it starts with her talking about like a breakup essentially and talking about how much a breakup hurts, but the chorus is like, oh no, I'm falling in love again. How did you turn the plane around or whatever? And it's
Or
just,
Bejeweled.
oh yeah, and Bejeweled, just you listen to Bejeweled and it's like, oh, this is absolutely about like I personally love the line and when the band asks do I have a man, I can still say I don't remember, is her absolutely saying to a dude like, I'm fucking Taylor Swift. Like, do you know who you're dating? Like, I'm Taylor Swift. Uh and it's just like,
So like that
and
getting
now
released just kind of like recontextualized everything about the record then at that point.
It basically,
everything.
Yeah.
it made us rethink because, like, when she was, I hate to even bring this up, but when she was briefly dating Maddie Healy earlier this year, fans started theorizing
Bravely is the
that
word for that. Yeah.
a lot of the songs on Midnights were maybe about her like starting a relationship with him. And then they broke up, and I was like, okay, God, like even I got gaslit into believing that because there was just so many theories. But like I was like, you know what? Like, I refuse to believe this, and I don't think that it's true. Um, but now it kind of made us realize, okay, if she was writing one of her saddest songs of all time, "You're Losing Me," a year before Midnights was released, meaning she wrote it at the same time that she was writing Midnights, and she was feeling this sad about her relationship with Joe, like, there's no way that some of these sad songs on Midnights are not about, like, her questioning her relationship with Joe. And
Yeah,
I think sh yeah, and I think she kind of cause, like, when she announced it was coming out, she's like, "Oh, these songs are from, like, multiple times of my life when, like, and thoughts I've had, like, late at night thinking about this." And, like, there are a couple of songs where it's clearly worded in a way where it's like, "Oh, yeah, like, this is from years and years and years ago."
like, Would've,
But
Could've, Should've, we all know is about John Mayer because she directly references being 19 when she dated this
right,
dude,
and,
so,
like,
like
"You're on Your Own Kid" is, like, a story of her, like, coming up in the music industry a little
yeah.
bit and, like, figuring all that out.
I will also die that Maroon is about Harry Styles. That's just my personal
Well,
opinion.
Maroon has to be from Red era
Yeah,
because Red is track 2 on Red, and then Maroon is track 2 on Midnights.
and I
Like,
don't think Jake Gyllenhaal has a roommate, but do you know who I think would have a roommate who drinks shitty wine and burns incense into their vinyl shelf? Harry Styles. Like, that's who.
Wait, see, I feel like
yeah.
Harry Styles is the roommate that has the incense on his vinyl shelf.
Either way, I think Maroon is about Harry Styles. Because, like,
Yeah,
there
I
are
don't
there are
Or it's
clearly a
about
couple
Adam
songs on the
Levine.
track.
So if I could
Why would it
pose
be
Maroon.
about?
a
Oh,
question to the panel,
mm.
if I could pose a question to the experts here before I leave in 5 minutes to go watch Travis Kelce play, uh, is if somebody were sort of looking at everything that's going on, sort of, I mean, because it's like this crazy. I don't even know what to call it, like this just hype tornado. Like it's just Taylor's everywhere, all
she's
over the
having a
place.
moment.
News is constantly like, yeah.
Phenomenon.
If somebody were to see all of that and be like, I've never really gotten into Taylor Swift before. Where do I start? What's the entry level to getting into Taylor Swift?
I personally think you need to ask a Swiftie what album do they think you will like the most?
Okay.
Because all of her music is very different. Like,
Hmm.
I love folk music and Noah Khan and all of that. So, like, Folklore and Evermore are two of my favorite albums because she wrote them in a cabin in the woods, and it's just that's the whole ass vibe.
Hmm.
But like Jordan, I would recommend more 1989 because that is so purely pop and that like fits in what Jordan likes. Where I would say like
Thanks.
I mean, you can disagree with me, but I'm just
No,
saying
no, I'm
you
just
also fall into that range of straight men listening to Taylor Swift where I would either recommend 1989 or Red, and I think that's just because those are the most like straight men love to scream sing 22.
you
Like
saw
it's
Yeah.
a
me do it
great
on my
Yeah.
22nd birthday.
exactly. Like it's
I did it on mine as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah.
That was so long ago.
So I personally feel like it's you go to a Swiftie in your life and you're like, hey, where should I start? Because they're gonna give you the best album to begin with.
Solid
Yeah,
advice.
when people ask me that, which it's always such I feel so happy and giddy when an acquaintance I've made on the internet is like, "Oh, I heard you're a Taylor Swift fan. Like, I want to get into her. What album should I listen to?" I'm like, "This is my time to shine." I always ask them, "What music generally are you into? Like, what is your most listened to genre? What generally do you vibe with?" Because then that kind of helps me decide like, oh, okay, should they do the more singer-songwriter Folklore Evermore, or like if they're more into pop like 1989 Reputation, or like guys who are into like rock or rap, I do Reputation. Like
It's my favorite one.
uh
Yeah.
our Twitch friend Charisma, he told me that he was willing to listen to some Taylor Swift, and I made him a little playlist that consisted of mostly Reputation, some 1989, some Midnights, some Evermore,
I gotta hit him up.
and he loved it. And like now, anytime I go on his stream, he'll either play like Ready for It or Endgame because those are two of his favorites, and it gets me all
Endgame's
hyped
good.
up.
I've
And I
listened
know
to
that.
Endgame
I
for a
play
few
both
years
of those
now.
songs before every Chiefs game now. I
Yes,
genuinely do.
I mean, she sang
yeah.
Endgame when he was there, and all the bracelets lit up the Chiefs colors, and it was very
It
I
was
cute.
so
freaked out.
cool. It was so cool.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah,
Only Ed Sheeran showed up.
Dude, if he had showed up, we would have gotten the Rep TV announcements. So like, leave me alone.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's just if you want to get into Taylor Swift, I promise you, there's a way. I've gotten people into Taylor Swift by saying, "Hey, search a band no one's ever heard of, The Nationals, and listen to their song The Alicot." Because Erin
Mm.
Dressner has like 6 different bands that have done songs. She has a song with Big Red Machine called Renegade. That's fucking
I love
phenomenal.
Renegade so much.
I know. It's literally up on my Spotify right now.
Which now I
Listen
am
to-
also convinced is about Joe, kind
It's
of.
no, it's
Like,
absolutely about Joe. And
I didn't know exactly the writing credits on that song. Like I didn't, but like I'm assuming that she wrote the lyrics or at least like
Yeah.
helped write the lyrics. So like, yeah.
And like I fully believe now that there are 8 million versions of Antihero. One of the versions is with the Bleachers, who is Jack Antonoff's band. I'm convinced his verse in it is a Joe diss track. And it's because he came out and was like, yeah, we wrote this like remix after we got like drunk on wine. And I'm convinced they were bitching about Joe. And Jack was like, I can finally talk about all the reasons I can't stand this man.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Jack
I love seeing all
Antonoff
these
is
little.
serving
I
us.
love seeing all these little moments that are popping up on TikTok now of like Jack Antonoff like low key shading him, like in the Long Pond studio sessions where she's talking about how Joe started to write Exile, and then Jack is like lyrics too, like surprised that he was capable of like actually doing something.
That's so funny.
Taylor's like, yeah,
Well, because Joe Alwyn wrote on this will be my last thing before I wrap it up, but Joe Alwyn wrote on a couple of folklore tracks under this name, William Bowery. And then when the Disney Plus documentary Long Pond Studios, which if you haven't watched, I highly recommend, came out, there's like a scene where Aaron Dressner, Jack Antonoff, and Taylor Swift are just sitting there like having drinks and talking about the songwriting process. And Jack goes, I've never met William Bowery. And Taylor's like, that's Joe. Like, that's Joe. And he was like, really? And she was like, well, yeah, he plays piano. So he started like writing Exile. Lyrics too? Like, it's just this man hates him. Like, it's just you are watching a man hate his best friend's crusty ass boyfriend.
Amazing.
Fuck yeah.
And I think too many people on TikTok were saying like, oh, their relationship just ran its course. Her and Joe Alwyn, it was time for their relationship to end. And Jack Antonoff was like, no, he was a piece of shit, and here's why.
He was always crusty, and I'll tell you.
Straight up, I need it was
Shawn
big,
Mendes. Shawn Mendes saying that he looked evil in that fucking
Villain
Vanity
energy.
Fair lie detector test. There's oh my god. Yeah, I know we're wrapping up, but like we could probably do like a part 2 and part 3 and part 11 of like
from like
so
just
much
shit
more.
we got this week, like just information that came out in the last like 5 days.
Incredible.
Fucking her publicist went after Dumois and like maybe taking down Dumois. Like it's insane. We love Mother. She is Mother.
Wait, why are we talking about Elizabeth Olsen all of a sudden?
No.
Oh my god.
It's
I think you mean
fantastic.
Haley Williams. Thank you very much.
Hey, listen, this was what I was going to say with your music recommendations. You listen to Rep. I would also listen to Castles Crumbling with Haley Williams and Better Than Revenge, because that's her other like kind of like pop punk song. You can listen to the song with Fall Out Boy. Fall Out Boy has not had a good song in 10 years. So like,
what do you mean? You didn't like their remake of We Didn't Start the Fire?
No. No. I don't.
thought it was okay-ish.
They haven't had a good album since Under the Cork Tree. And that came out when I was like 12, and it's very upsetting to me.
Yeah, that's the only Fall Out Boy album I listened to.
Yeah. All right. It's also like Billy Joel is still alive, and he just did a new updated version of We Didn't Start the Fire. So like, I don't know why Fall Out Boy. Also, you know who I don't expect to cover Billy Joel? Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy. Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, if somebody was going to cover We Didn't Start the Fire and do like a modern one, it really needed to be like Rage Against the Machine or like one of those kind of bands. But anyway, I'm not gonna lie, there's probably gonna be more Taylor Swift content coming up in the future on shared screens with the release of Reputation Taylor's version, Debut Taylor's version, and Taylor Swift 11, whatever that will be, whether it's Karma or something else. What, Jordan?
do you think we'll be getting a Taylor's version of her Christmas album? Because I do have a couple of her covers on my Christmas playlist, and I don't want to be giving money to Scooter Braun.
I want it so bad. I don't know if there's enough. She could surprise drop it in the next couple weeks, maybe, or
Yeah,
next year.
because if you're
I don't
listening
know.
to just her covers, I don't know, because she doesn't technically own those. But like,
She
we
owns
may get
Christmas.
it.
She owns Christmas Tree Farm, right? Because that
Yeah,
was
he listens
yeah.
to like her cover of like Santa Baby,
Oh yeah.
like
I
shit she doesn't
mean,
own.
yeah.
I hate that you know that. It's like there's one of a couple of covers of hers that's on my playlist. It's a really good fucking cover of Santa Baby.
She absolutely needs to. We need to like start a Twitter campaign or something.
I would love a
like,
full Christmas album from her. And I would
Oh,
love
yeah.
a new version of Christmas Tree Farm because that song is very
Mhm.
good and very cute.
Travis just did a feature on the Philadelphia Eagles Christmas album.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
fuck
know.
yeah.
I haven't heard
Yeah.
that yet.
He's
but I
not
like
bad.
read
It's not bad. There's a
read
lot of
about it.
there's a lot of pitch correction. Don't get me wrong, but it's fun.
Anything you've seen
it's
saying
football
he
players
sounds like a
singing.
Disney prince is absolutely true. He
It's all
sounds
st-
like a Disney prince in it.
It's
Oh
all
my
studio work.
God.
It's
That's
so
all
cute. Yeah, I
studio
know,
work.
but
Right
like,
now.
But it
it's
does,
cute.
but it's like I'm not dissing him for that. Like, it sounds really good. Like,
Yeah,
but I've also
trust
heard him
me.
sing.
We
don't
know
sing like that.
because Jason Kelce, the day it came out, posted about getting to like the iTunes number 8, and he was so excited that it got to number 8. And all these Taylor Swift fans were like, "We're getting you to number 1. You just have to give us a couple more hours. We're working on it." And they did get it to number 1, which is also
did
great
happen,
because
yeah.
all of those the money from those streams does go to charity, which is super
Mhm.
super sick. And part of the reason why I think Taylor becoming part of the Kelce family is such a good fit. I also just need Andrea and Donna Kelce videos. I need to see them meet. They look like they'd be best friends. They look like they would swap pie recipes. Thanks for joining us during the insanity of two Taylor Swift fans talking about Taylor Swift and Chris getting to talk about football a little bit. There will probably be more Taylor Swift content coming because I may just do it because I want to in February. But you can subscribe to our channel on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Shared Screens. You can follow Kate. I was about to say subscribe on Twitter, which isn't even. You can follow Kate at CaitRose on Twitter and Instagram. Links will be in the description. This is why I don't host. I don't know how to end this. Thanks.